about impulse buying today because it's definitely something that I've struggled with in the past. So I wanted to share with you my experiences and some of my most effective ways to make sure every dollar I do spend goes towards something that I'll actually enjoy and get a lot of use out of. I think the most important thing that I've learned is to stop seeing impulse buying as some kind of moral failing on my part, and to stop shaming myself and thinking that because I've made a lot of purchases that didn't end up being right for me and that are piling up at the back of my wardrobe, that somehow makes me an undisciplined, irresponsible person who makes poor money decisions. Ultimately, I think that impulse buying boils down to two causes. The first is marketing. Retailers aren't dumb, and they spend a lot of time and are very good at making us want to buy things. And a lot of the time, they don't care whether or not those things are things that we want or need. And the second, and I think more important reason, is the lack of exposure to and experience with good shopping habits. Growing up, I don't remember knowing a single person who enjoyed shopping but did it well. I was never taught how to make good fashion decisions that were right for me and my life, and the most I got, I think, was this vague sense of, oh, shopping is frivolous, and my goal should be to not do it so much and not spend money on it, which did not fix the problem for the same reason that abstinence-only programs don't fix the problem of unwanted pregnancy. And I do think that people want and need to be taught how to shop well, which is why we have a lot of videos out there about how to look classy or how to do fashion on a budget. All of this advice pieces together a kind of instruction manual on how to do the whole shopping thing. Like, think about if you gave your car keys to a person who had never driven a car before and just said, well, figure it out, use your good judgment, and don't be wasteful. Like, you can't expect that to end well. And similarly, I can forgive myself for not having developed good shopping habits when it's really just never been addressed in my life. So, after a decade of figuring it out, not knowing what good judgment looks like, and ending up being rather wasteful, here are the things that I do to make sure that every single fashion purchase I make is something that I'm going to enjoy and get use out of. The first thing I do is I ask myself this question: is the thing that I'm thinking of buying at least as good as something that I already have in my wardrobe? Here's what happens to me. A store is having a really good sale, and I walk in and I see something that looks kind of cool that I kind of like, but it's at a very steep discount. And I think, oh, that's such a good deal. I'm going to regret it later if I miss out on this. And anyway, it's not a whole lot of money, so I'm not losing much. And so I buy the thing, and it turns out that I don't like it that much and don't wear it that much. So nowadays, when I run into that situation, I compare the thing that I want to buy with something that's already in my wardrobe and that I really like. And I think to myself, is the thing that I want to buy at least as good as the thing that I already have and that I know I like? Because let's say that I'm looking at a handbag in the store, and after comparing it to my favorite handbag, I decide that the new one isn't quite as nice as the one that I'm maybe already carrying. That's something I like to do, by the way. If I'm going to a physical store, I like to wear one of my favorite outfits with some of my favorite accessories so that I have those things on hand and can do a real-time comparison between the actual items. So let's say I decide, okay, the new thing is definitely not as nice as the old thing. Why would I ever carry that new bag then? Like, why would I use a bag that I don't even like as much as the one I already have? I'm never going to use it. And even worse than that, I'm actually taking a step away from my ideal wardrobe where everything I have is something that I love and use a lot. So in that case, the new handbag is not a missed opportunity, it's a bullet dodged. And I absolutely have something to lose from buying it carelessly, no matter how cheap it may be. The second thing I do is that I make outfit planning instead of shopping a habit. So here's what happens to me. I watch a lot of fashion videos on YouTube, and let's say that one of my favorite influencers is doing a styling video of something I don't have or a new haul, and I see something that I think looks really, really good. And of course, she has the item linked in the description box, so I click the link and now I'm in the store and I'm looking at this new thing and maybe I find a couple of other cute things. Before watching that video, I didn't even know about the item, so I wouldn't have bought it. And at this point, you might say, okay, well, then just don't watch those videos. But what about other forms of online advertising like Google Ads? Or what about the things that you see in the display windows of stores that you walk by? You don't even have to go in and you're already looking at those things. And what about just things that people on the street you pass by are wearing? I don't think the answer is to never put yourself in any situation that may make you want something. I try to focus a lot more on managing those wants. Nowadays, when I feel myself wanting something new, I don't go to the store first. I go instead to Pinterest. This is something that I had to make an active effort to do at first, but now it's just a habit. I search for the item that I'm thinking of buying and I look at all the pretty pictures. Here are a couple of specific red flags that tell me I probably shouldn't buy the thing. Firstly, if the item is only styled in like one or two ways in all of the pictures that I look at. There are some things out there, usually statement items, that really only look good with like a plain pair of jeans or only look good with neutrals. And when I see that, I have to ask myself, is it worth getting this one item that's going to make maybe like one outfit? And usually for me, the answer is no. The second red flag is if I see the item I want styled with a lot of other items that I also don't have. If the pieces that I need to style this item in the way that I want to style it are not already things in my wardrobe, firstly, that means I'm not just looking at buying the one new thing that I want, I'm looking at buying several new things or even an entire outfit, and that's a much bigger commitment. But secondly, if I've never even thought of buying like any of these things in this outfit, then there's a good chance that all of those things are only really gonna look good together and are not gonna fit in nicely with the things that are already in my wardrobe. And you know, sometimes after a bit of scrolling, I just like naturally lose interest in the item. Sometimes I don't actually want to own something. I just want to admire other people wearing it for a while. And the last thing I do is to give myself a shopping budget that is actually smaller than what I can afford. Now, this isn't about damage control. This isn't me saying, well, I'm gonna buy what I'm gonna buy, so at least I can just control the amount I waste. No, it matters a lot more to me what I spend my money on and what kind of value I'm getting out of those things than how much I'm actually spending. Before, I had kind of a loose budget where I was like, okay, once I get to around this balance on my credit card, I stop. And back then, if I saw something that was pretty cheap and it was on sale, I'd say, oh, you know, this isn't a whole lot of money. It's probably gonna fit in my budget somewhere. But now I have a much stricter and much smaller budget and I track everything I spend so I know exactly how much I've already spent and how much I can still spend, say, this month. And in that situation, when I see the same item on sale and it doesn't feel like a lot of money, but I think, oh, wait, this is actually gonna cost me like a tenth of my monthly budget. Do I really like this thing enough to spend a tenth of my budget on it, knowing that that tenth is then gone and can't be used for anything else? I want to point out that even after going through all three of those steps, it is possible for me to still buy something. And if that's true, I know that I definitely want the thing, I'm definitely going to use the thing, and I already have lots of ideas about how to use it and what to use it with. I don't follow these practices to try and make sure that I never buy anything. I think that with the right financial flexibility, shopping in moderation is actually a legitimate and healthy way to enjoy fashion. So my focus is usually on making sure that what I do spend, no matter how much or how little that is, actually brings me joy and helps me achieve what I want for my wardrobe. Feel free to leave a comment down below about your thoughts on impulse buying or shopping in general, what your experiences have been like with impulse shopping, and some of the things that you are currently doing to deal with that. Lately, I've been very focused on mindful spending and have been paying a lot of attention to the things that I buy and why I buy them. I've found that even though I've been buying a lot less, I actually enjoy my wardrobe more and I've even enjoyed shopping more. So I wanted to share these experiences with you and have a conversation about it because I think that shopping and our relationship to shopping is a really interesting facet of fashion. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say for now. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Again, do feel free to leave a comment with your thoughts, and I will see you next time. Bye.